Com and go with the home team. Three different types of games. A pitcher's duel where offense was at a premium on Friday night. Auburn wins a one-run game. Hard to say there. Mississippi State wins game 2, has to hang on for dear life at the end, has a big lead in game 3, can't hang on. I know, Coach, in a lot of ways, this is a weekend that had to be as frustrating as any that you've had with the way the games played out.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we get a great pitching performance on Friday night, and they do too, but just to score one run in that ballpark was, frustrating. Probably, we've been so good. I'm pretty good offensively for the last couple of weeks. And, you catch a sack bunt, make a great play, and the next thing you know, they get 2 bases out of it, to get theirs there too. So that was frustrating. Thought we played well on Saturday. Obviously, we have a tough 9th inning. Luckily, we're able to hold on to it. And then, the game yesterday is just really, really frustrating. We have an arm or two down, and so it puts a little bit of tax on the staff, and just weren't able to get it done.
The crazy thing about Saturday is you might feel good going into the 9th inning if it's a 6-3 ball game. You got a huge cushion in that game, up 11-3, and it just kind of underscores you never know when you're going to need more runs, especially in the SEC, because the 3 runs in the 8th and the 2 runs in the 9th turn out to be the difference in the win.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. And just, we keep saying it to our guys that, yesterday we don't pitch good there at the end, good enough to win for sure. But, they brought in a guy with a 10 ERA in the 6th inning, and we score 1 run the rest of the day. Just to be able to add on is, we say it all the time. And you see these comebacks in our league like crazy. They're all over college baseball, but, unfortunately, to have 2 in 2 days is frustrating.
Coach, when you look at your past couple of weekends, it looked like you had sorted some things out from a pitching perspective. You were getting some good innings out of your bullpen. Your starters have been pitching well right up until the bottom of the 9th on Saturday, and then it sort of continues from the bullpen on Sunday. When you talk to Coach Foxhall about bullpen and the decisions that are being made there and the approach there, what are those conversations like right now? Where's the disconnect between what you guys want to see happen and what is happening?
It's we probably stretched Casey Hunt a little long in the in the Saturday game, and but he was pitching great. We knew we weren't going to get in the rest of the weekend. Figured we might as well run him back out there, and he actually. They give a pop-up homer to start, gets the next guy out, and the next 3 hits are under about 85 mile an hour. Just seeing eye singles, and then as that inning gets going, then it gets really hard to stop, and we had to bring our closer in. And Aaron was actually better yesterday, but wasn't great in that outing. And then obviously yesterday's game, you're trying to piece it together because we don't have Dome for a long time, we don't have Nixon for a long time. And, we end up, Lowe comes out in about the 5th. So we had to piece it together with some guys, and we just didn't piece it together the right way.
When you look at what's left, it's no secret that the 4 weeks you got remaining in conference play are a murderer's row.
Yeah.
And you think about kind of the narrow path to playing well enough to get into a regional. Do you have a conversation about that with your ball club, or do you just assume that that they know what's in front of them and they got to go play and figure it out?
Yeah, we just got to figure out day to day. We're not good enough to figure out what's going to happen 4 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. We knew at the beginning of the year we had the hardest. They put it out in all the papers of we have the hardest schedule in the league, and that is pretty much played out. We just didn't realize when we were going to Kentucky they were going to be hot, and the South Carolinas and Vanderbilts, we got them at their hot times too. So we knew this going out the back end would be tough, and we just got to go and win some games. We got to get something this weekend, and then come back and have a good series here against Arkansas too. So it is what it is. You sign up to play in the SEC. There's nothing easy, and it's our job to be better.
This 2 series in a row where Friday night, that offense that you mentioned, which has been playing well, it wasn't there for you. You know, 3-2 last week against Ole Miss, and then 2-1 this past week against Auburn. What's been the difference from Friday night? I mean, obviously the quality of pitching on Friday nights in this conference is outstanding, but what's the biggest difference with your offense from the Friday nights to these Saturday games where you are piling up some hits and runs?
I wish I could tell you that, you know, because like I said, I really like our offense. You know, they pretty much bring it every day, but in both games, we don't do situational offense. You know, Friday night we had a chance with second and third and roll over guy. You know, just to do the little things, and we just haven't done it. And for the most part, we have this year in that world, but it's just you know, hadn't been there for us the last two Friday nights. And those are, you know, those are two big. Now both weekends, I think, all three games this weekend were decided by a run, and last weekend, 2 by a run and the other by 2 runs. So we're just in these tight games, and you know, when you're in tight games, we need to do a better job of separating.
I know the answer to this question is going to be you don't, but I have to ask: is there any kind of update on Nate Dome?
We got some good news today, so we don't think it's anything long lasting. So it'll probably be something you know, week to week, we feel like, and so that was good news. We got to play it out by ear and see how it goes with him, but we did get some good news in that world.
Chris, what about Tennessee? I mean, they kind of struggled for a big part of the year, and then this past weekend, it's like they get new life with that crazy win on Friday night in 12 innings over Vanderbilt, and then all of a sudden for the next 2 days they play the way I think a lot of people expected them to play. When you look at what you're going to face this weekend in Knoxville, what stands out for you?
Well, it's the frontline arms. I mean, you're facing. They probably still have the best arms out there, and they're still all intact and all pitching good. And I think the one thing you've seen with Tennessee this year, they have struggled on the road. You know, and they played you know, first half they played 3 and 5. You know, 3 on the road and 2 at home. And but when they've played at home, they've played really good. So they swept Vandy, swept Texas A&M. I think they may have lost to Florida was the one, and Florida's playing really good at that point. So. But yeah, it's just you're going to have to go in there and you're going to have to swing it a little bit, and then you're going to have to hold down their offense seems a lot better when they're at home.
That's one of those parks where it flies too, right? I mean, that's a pretty good hitter's park.
Yeah, it is a hitter's park. Yeah, it's very offensive and plays to the home run a good bit, you know, if the wind's blowing right.
Yeah. Big week coming up. We certainly appreciate your time. Always good to catch up on Mondays.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Chris Lemonis.